Look, savings are in crisis, and I think we need to be really strict about that. It's a month since the UK interest rates dropped from 0.5% to 0.25%. Savings rates across the boards are dropping. You know, you've got NatWest Cash ISAs now paying 0.01%, i.e. nothing. Santander 123, which was the big bastion of hope for many people with savings, is halving in November from 3% to 1.5%. It is very difficult to earn decent money from savings. So this is a clarion call from me today for anyone who's got savings and has a mortgage to look at overpaying it. And the big equation here, the big question to ask yourself is your mortgage rate higher than the rate that you would earn on your savings?
Oh, right.
Let me just talk this through very simply to give you the simple logic. Let's say you've got £1,000 in savings and it's paying 1%, which would be pretty good now, staggeringly. Well, that means you're earning £10 interest on £1,000 a year. If your mortgage is at 4%, it's costing you 4%. That means if you were to take £1,000 and clear £1,000 off your mortgage debt, you're saving £40 interest a year. So you're £30 better off on the mortgage than the savings. Now, I would say those people who have, you know, there are some on small amounts, TSB, First Direct offer 5 or 6% on savings for small amounts. You'd put your savings there first because that's higher than the mortgage. But for everyone else, she's in the back. Do you want to join the money stuff?
Yeah.
For everybody else, you need to question whether you should overpay your mortgage. And just to give you the consequence of this, I'm just going to do some calculations, and the overpayment calculators online you can do this on. Someone who put £250 a month instead of saving it to overpaying a mortgage, which at a typical rate of 4.8%, it's a £150,000 mortgage, would clear the mortgage 6 years earlier with an interest saving of £27,000.
Oh my gosh, that's extraordinary.
That's the scale of impact. Go and do an overpayment calculator yourself. You can do them online. That's the scale of impact we're talking.
The only problem is, not all mortgages allow you to overpay.
Most these days allow you to overpay up to 10% of the amount that you owe in a year. If you're on a standard variable rate, it tends to be unlimited. So check that. If there are penalties above that, or if there are penalties, well, that eats into any gains you get, and you're probably not worth overpaying. So you need to check whether there are overpayment penalties. And something else that people find complicated that you have to do. If you overpay your mortgage, some lenders will simply reduce your other mortgage. So you overpay £250 a month. They're saying you were paying £400 a month, now you only have to pay £300 a month. That's bad, because then you're not repaying the mortgage any quicker and you don't actually make an interest saving. You need to say to them, I'm overpaying, and what I want you to do is reduce my term in accordance.
So you pay it off
and
quicker.
that's the way that you make the big savings on the back of it.